Ladies and gents, welcome back. We are playing more Cities Skylines today. A few things we're going to do in this episode. We're going to make a brand new residential suburb over in this area. Kind of similar to what we've done here. We did a couple little neighborhoods there, and I think we're going to start expanding some residential over into this area and this area. So today we're going to work on a bit of this area. And then we're also going to correct, we have a bit of a heavy traffic issue in the business district. And I'm going to try a couple solutions to see if I can solve the congestion there. And first, we're going to do some housekeeping stuff. So I just run through the infographics here. We are getting fairly short on power, and if we're going to be adding more residential, we're going to need some more power. So let us grab another turbine, and we will find a choice spot to put it right about there. So that'll give us enough power to add our new residential area. Our water is okay, our sewage is okay. Our garbage collection is sufficient for the time being. Let's check happiness. Happiness is good. Healthcare is okay. Death care is perfectly fine. How many people are buried in there? 3 people so far. Noise pollution. Obviously, we know that the industrial area is going to be quite bad. The business district as well, because it's busy and there's big roads in there. But look at our residential areas are quite good actually, except for this little area there. Not sure why that's having a bit of issues, but like, hey, light pink isn't so bad. Very, very low on the spectrum of noise pollution. Fire safety, not the best. This is something we're going to have to work on eventually. It's really tough to get fire coverage into these little kind of interior crescent areas. I've had this issue in my test city as well. Even if you see, like, we have a fire station right there. So he's got to come onto the road and come this way and all the way around. And, you know, by the time he gets here, the people are dead and the building's burnt already. The only way to solve this is to put a fire station on the interior side. So let's see, like, I'm not going to do it, but, you know, you can see that we get coverage right there if we do that. You know, we'll do it eventually just to, you know, polish off the city. But for the time being, I'm just going to let these guys burn. The business district, you know, again, one-way roads. Where's our nearest? So he can come into here and like this. Not the best coverage, but hey. It's not perfect. Crime is okay. Our bus route is looking just fine. How's leisure? Not great, right? We have the one small park there. We'll work on this eventually, but that's for another episode. Today we are going to be working on this residential area. But first, before we do that, I'm going to do a very small test, and while we let the sim run, we'll see if this actually does anything. So this road is congested right here, slightly congested. You can see that the traffic isn't actually backing up, which is good, but I think the reason for this is because there's only 2 exits from the business district. There's this one, and then there is this one, both of which are 2-way roads that lead into intersections, right? This one has lights. Does this one have lights? It does. So anytime you have stoplights, it's going to back traffic up a little bit. What I want to do is try just a little one-way road coming out, and this will give them an exit. This, did it create traffic lights? Only on, oh, it did create traffic lights. Isn't that interesting? I would prefer if they had like just stop signs on these, and that's the way it used to work in SimCity 4. If you connected, say, to only this side of an avenue, and you didn't pull the intersection through, it wouldn't affect this lane. So you would get your constant traffic flow through here, and these guys could make their turn. If this were a one-way road, likely we wouldn't have gotten lights. I wouldn't think we would anyway. There would be no purpose for it. But we're dealing with a different simulation here, so we have to get used to the rules. I don't like that it creates traffic lights, and I hope eventually they give us the option to put a stop sign here instead, because the traffic flow here is not going to dictate having a stoplight. Anyhow, for the time being, we'll leave that go. We're going to turn the simulation back on so we make more money. I don't think there's going to be any issues in our city while we're doing the residential area here. There, click the play button. That's the one I wanted. So we'll see if this has any effect. You remember this is congested, so we'll check back on this in a little bit and see if that solved any issues. How are we going to do this residential area? Well, I like this arterial road right here. We may end up continuing that onward, but we're eventually going to be upgrading to 6-lane roads anyway. Let's see what the cost difference is to do that. So this is 80 per cell, and a 4-lane is 60 per cell. Not a huge amount of difference. So you know what? We might as well continue the artery with a 6-lane road at this point. So let us pull this out. We're going to use the curve tool, and we're just going to do kind of a, yeah, that's not far enough. Let's sweep this around, kind of like that. Okay, that gives us a nice arterial feeder, and now we can pull a couple 4-lane roads off of this. So we're going to make kind of a loop or a half loop, kind of like this, and then we'll put little capillary roads off of there. We don't want to go too close to this intersection or else traffic will back up. So let's go from, say, about the midpoint here. Pull out just a little bit and pull this. Why? Not enough money. Well, okay. We'll start the road like this, and then we'll grab our little feeder roads. And this is a very typical suburban layout to do a road design like this. Not enough money. You know, let's take out a loan. I'm tired of not having enough money. Take a loan. We've got enough income, you know, from the week to justify taking a loan out. We just need an advance. So, very typical suburban layout. I actually studied up on these. As I was kind of thinking of what road designs to put in place, and these are very, very common, with like having a main crescent type road and then having these little juts off of it like this, and they don't often connect. You might have another block back here if you had another avenue road in the back. Like we could connect to there, but man, that would create so many intersections. It would be a nightmare. This space here is going to be a little awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull up, and then we're going to pull inward like such, and then we'll pull a couple down from here. These will be nice little quiet areas that the Sims will enjoy. Just like that. That's kind of a neat design. On the interior side though, I think I'm going to do a nice curve, and we'll pull it from about there and about halfway out, and we'll curve that in. And then off of this, we're going to pull a couple of these sub roads. So we'll go in like this first, and we'll pull one from this side to fill that space in. And I'm going to leave some green space because I'm going to put some trees and some pedestrian paths and stuff in there eventually. So we have a nice little new suburban area. Let's get some zoning in place, and first actually we're going to make sure our pipes are in there. So let's pull a few water pipes in. Something like this. And then we'll just pull a couple little stems off of there to cover the rest. Perfecto. Okay, let's zone this up. We're going to do a bulk zoning here. We've got a lot of residential demand, and we don't want our industry to suffer from not having any human resources, so we got to get people moving in ASAP. Zone it up, and we're not going to do the main road here. We're not going to zone onto that, just to keep the traffic levels okay. You know, think about in your city. You may live in a city that has big why am I having such a problem saying that? Arterial roads systems. They don't often have zoning right on them, right? There'll be a fairly open road just to keep the traffic flowing. You don't want people pulling out from their driveways and stuff onto big roads and backing the traffic up. So we'll leave that arterial road alone. We will not zone on it for the time being. Eventually, we may end up putting some high density residential areas in there. Let's have a look at our traffic again, see if we've cleared it up. It's better. Remember, it was dark red before, so it's gotten better. But look at our little one-way is now causing some congestion. I didn't expect that, actually. I didn't expect a little one-way to do that, but boy, the traffic and road system in this game is a little confusing as far as what creates intersections, which intersections are bad. I suppose the other thing we could do is like pull an overpass and then maybe connect it up to this road instead. But you know what? The traffic... Oh, so you know, it's okay. Isn't that interesting? The traffic is just kind of a little screwy, I gotta say. It's just a little bit screwy in this game. And I think it has to do with the way that the Sims pick their route to their destination. So you'll often find, say, on a 6-lane road, everybody is in the right lane. Sometimes that's because your road system is very poorly designed. Like if you had a bunch of one-way roads to come into something, and the Sims say, why would I be in the left lane? I've got to make 3 right turns coming up. They'll just stay in the right lane the entire time. And that's why you're going to have a bit of a backup. The way to solve that, from what I've seen, is to have a traffic split. So you would have, say, this road coming in and then a one-way on each. Split the traffic to different districts of your city. So let's say, for example, right up here, we would have a one-way here and a one-way there. It would split traffic to, hey, are you going to the residential zone, or are you... Oh, look at what we missed, providing electricity. There we go. Are you going to the residential zone, or are you going to the business district? Pick which way you're going to go, and then you split your traffic off from there. I didn't do it here, obviously. I mean, this wouldn't be a very good layout for doing something like that, but coming off of this pre-designed highway off-ramp is a little awkward in any game you start. And I haven't really found a great way, aside from like a mini roundabout, to filter the traffic right off of this. When we purchase this tile, we'll get rid of this and do something else. But for the time being, I don't have any traffic problems up there, as you can see. So, not a big deal for us right now. This road here is getting quite a bit of traffic because people are coming off of here and coming down this way instead of taking this road, which would be a little bit better. So, let's think about this for a second. If we were to filter this road into here, they would likely take this road and then that road instead of taking this road. So we could do something like that, but I don't really like the way that that would look, because you're essentially filtering into what should be a one-way, right? The traffic's just going to get really bad over there if we do that. Now, the traffic is heavy, but again, this doesn't indicate any sort of traffic jamming. You can watch the cars and see that, you know, the average wait time is not heavy. They're not backing up to another intersection. So there's no reason to change this at this point in time. Hey guys, let's district this. Let's district this new suburb. Here we go. Just like this. And I am going to name this after one of my subscribers. And this is going to be called Jackson View. Thank you, Jackson, for the subscription. Very much appreciate it. So let's go have a look at our our industrial area here. Let's see how the traffic flows are. So this road is pretty heavily used, as to be expected, because it is the main flow through of the area. Is it a strictly one way? Yes, it is. So the traffic on it is not likely to ever congest too bad, at least at this point in the game. We've got our landfills. This one's 19%, 83%. We might think about making another landfill soon enough. We don't yet have access to the incinerator plant, which once we do will be a big boon to this city, because we can get rid of these disgusting landfills, put a few incinerators out, which will also help with power. Let's see, our residential demand, not so great right now. How can we spur that forward? What if we were to put some beautification things into this area? Let's see here. Large park with trees. This is actually a fairly hard park to place from what I've found. It goes into very few places. It's so big too. You know what? We've got a lot of space and we could build around this park in the future. So let's put something right here in the interior. It didn't reach as far as I was hoping it would as far as the happiness level. So let's grab a basketball court. Every neighborhood should have a basketball court. And this is undeveloped yet, so let's put that right there. Jackson View got its first basketball court. And I broke the power lines. Great. Let's pull that back in. All right. How is our loan doing? Are we paying that back off? Yeah, we're down like $3 grand already. Okay, so how's our zoning in this area? We do have a little bit we could do along this main road, and I think maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. We've still got a lot of zoning over here. Why does the park need power? Does it have lights? Let's see if it has lights. It does have lights. Interesting. Let's grab some power from over here and pull it in. How can I put it right there? It's right in the middle of the road. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Okay. Where should we pull the power from? I don't want a huge intrusive power line right on my districts here. Let's grab it here. No, you're not going to let me place it? Okay, we'll try somewhere else. How about right there? And boom, pull that up. Do the lights turn on? Let's see if the lights turn on. Anyway, hey, let's do something a little different here. This street is going to be very busy. The intersection is right here. People are going to get killed on this road. What we need to do is we need to make a pedestrian path. So I'm going to extend this, make this kind of a double wide sidewalk right there. Let's have a look at the pedestrian path. Isn't that neat? It kind of is a little glitchy, like the ground underneath is kind of popping through, but whatever. What I want to do is make a pedestrian overpass, and I didn't realize you could do this for the first few days of playing the game, but you can, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So you pick your spot where you want to start, you press the page up button, and if you're lucky enough, you can find, see I'm too close to the edge there, so I've got to back this up just a bit. Page down to start, try right from this one. Can we get up? There we go. Okay, so we'll pull this across. And we'll page down to lower the path. And then we will curve it right. No, we won't. No, it's not going to let me do that. Let's try going around the back here. It's not going to let me do that either. We'll try a straight line tool. And straight. We'll just pull it around the back and see if we can connect it to the back side. Still not. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll pull this around the entire park. And back to the sidewalk. That way people can get there without having to cross the treacherous, busy street traffic. And we're going to make this look a little nicer. So let's put some trees. We want to make this kind of a nice little community area here. Let's grab some different trees. Yeah, we'll make this whole corner kind of nicely treed up. There is a mod that will allow you to place a bunch of trees at the same time. I think it's called the tree brush tool. And it's a very, very cool mod. I'm going to get it eventually, but I haven't downloaded any mods at all just yet. So let's just tree line this street. That'll be kind of neat. Right there. Are we infringing on any zoning? Yeah, we are, but that's fine. We'll figure that out later. They'll likely tear the trees down to zone anyway. Let's have a look at our pedestrian path. Isn't that cool? Can't wait till we get our first person to come over this. Right on. I like that a lot. I like these pedestrian paths a lot, and I've seen some cities that actually will do it downtown where they'll have catwalk areas that go to different parts of their downtown. Very, very cool thing. I wish you could build directly onto the park so that it would look kind of connected, but apparently you can't. Whoops, apparently you can't do that. You just have to build around. That still looks kind of neat though, right? I think it does. Nobody's crossed it yet. I guess there's not enough people in the area to have used it at this point, but oh well. How is our Jackson View growing? We just don't have a whole lot of demand for anything in this city right now. We're growing moderately, you know, 30 people a week or so, which eventually should increase. We don't have any fire coverage over here. Let's put some fire coverage. How does that do? Still not great coverage there. I suppose what we could do is connect these guys. Yeah, let's connect that. I think that's good. It kind of makes it into a bit of a crescent, and it'll make the fire coverage a lot easier. See, you saw before the back road was grayed out because it takes so long to get there. Now though, it's better because we made that connection. Let's put this right in the middle of the street. Everybody's happy. We should see lots of blue come up here. Let's just speed it up. I like watching the blue pop. These guys, not so much. Like, really, like, is it that bad? You can get, like, it doesn't take more than, what, 30 seconds to drive down this street? And it's still that bad? Yeah, oh, whatever. That's really cool. I love these overpasses. I like doing overpasses in this game regardless, whether it's roads or pedestrian paths. It's really cool to layer the roads, and they're bringing out tunneling, which is going to be even cooler to have underpasses to ground level roads, which should solve some traffic problems as well. And it also gives you the ability to the one thing I like to do in the Sims games or SimCity games is recreate an actual city, which I will do eventually. So you get the Google map of the city and the roadways and the districts and just try to make it. And without tunneling, you're not going to make too many worthwhile cities. So I'm really happy that they're bringing that out. I would hope that one of the first things that they do work on with this game is to improve the road system and the intersection system. Like, I would love to be able to come to this intersection, select it, and say, no, we don't want traffic lights on this avenue, we just want some stop signs. Or at least say the lights to go this way are 4 times as long as the light that drains this way, right? I mean, that would solve the issue completely. I'd love that level of customizability, but we'll see if it ever comes. I'm not sure. I don't know what their plans are. Maybe that'll be the rush hour traffic expansion or something. So it looks like Jackson View is getting a bit more. I'm a little worried about the traffic on this road now that I've connected this, because it does create a very short route from here. We'll keep an eye on it and see whether or not that is a bad idea, and it might be, but yeah, I wanted to get the fire coverage a little better over there, so I decided to do that. Anybody in our park yet? Yeah, there's a guy. He's hanging out. Who's this? Aspen Cooper. Nice name. He works at the Ice Cube factory. And let's see where the Ice Cube factory is. Yep, you're a long way from work. We do have bus routes that go in here, though, so hopefully they take the bus. Speaking of our bus routes, let's try to find a bus stop. No, let's try to find a bus and see what the ridership is. So there's a bus right there. Let's go follow it. 7 people. Let's follow along with the bus just to see what kind of routes he takes. Some of the cities that I made, like my big test city is quite, about 10 times as big as this city is right now. And the bus ridership is nuts, guys. Like, you got 50, 100 people waiting for the bus at any given time. And I don't know how to remedy that situation, whether you increase budget, have more buses, or whether you optimize your bus routes a little better, like have express lines and then have little offshoot lines to the residential areas. But a bus will pull up and people will get off and people will get on, and it doesn't look like you've even touched the amount of people that were waiting for the bus. There's just tons of them, tons and tons of them waiting there. So yeah, I don't know, it's a strange situation to try to figure out, but I'm doing some testing in my other city to see if I can fix it. But this seems to be okay. I mean, he's not max capacity and there's not a ton of people waiting for the bus at any given time. So I'm okay with it. I mean, the ridership is a little low. I wouldn't mind it being a bit higher than that, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so we're done following that bus around. Let's have a look at our traffic back in the business district. Not bad, really not bad. We've kind of fixed a little bit of the congestion problem there, and this road seems to be doing okay. So I think that's fine. I'm testing the traffic patterns, and having these little one-way exits seems to be okay. Like, we could even put another one-way exit up here and further get rid of this, but I just don't want to create more intersections on this main avenue. I think it's best to leave it, as open as possible. This is what we're gonna do, though. This is gonna happen eventually, guys. So we're gonna just upgrade this road here. And do I want to do it one-way or two-way? I think for the time being, it's gonna be still a two-way road. So let's go and upgrade this. It shouldn't cause any fallout with our zoning, not too much anyway. There. So now we've got a fairly nice artery to the city, and I'm gonna upgrade this guy right there as well. This is not a great idea, putting a 6-lane into a 2-lane. In theory not, but in the game, actually, it's not that bad at this point. Sometimes can be more advantageous than even putting it into a 4-lane. This is going to be another main feeder road, so we might as well upgrade this while we have the chance before we're too developed. Let's just pop some upgrades right there, just like that. That should help with the traffic flow. So you can see the layout. Let's have a look at this. These are the big arteries. This is your big artery system. Then you've got the little roads or the littler avenues coming off of there, and then you've got your other roads. Try to design your traffic systems like this. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself into some major headaches. This cross section here, or this one, could eventually become an avenue. And I think that might be a good idea for right now, is just to bump this up to an avenue if we can do that. You want to do this before you're a little too developed, because later on it becomes a bit of a hassle once you're destroying a bunch of zoning and whatnot. So we're gonna just pull this through there. I like that. Now we've got a nice main avenue through our business district. Eventually we could put one running north-south, or put one coming out this way, say a nice sweeping one through here. But I think for the time being this is just fine. Let's check the zoning in here, because we kind of did bump some stuff. What? I didn't want to do residential. Get that out of there. Yeah, let's just fix this up just a touch. There we go. That looks good. And eventually on these bigger avenues we can put the higher density. So today we put in a new suburb, we fixed some road systems, upgraded our main arteries. I think that's going to be the day. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.